Sagittarius.
Hello Sagittarius, this is your forecast for May of 2014, and yes, we're still working on that grand square, and you probably are feeling it. We're birthing ourselves, and some of you are still in labor, some of you are now in delivery, and some of you have delivered. So there's these three stages here throughout April and May. Some of you are listening to this forecast a little early, so here in April you might still be in that labor. And then as we're coming in here through the end of April into May, well, then we should start seeing the end of it. So it's really, really exciting. Not to say that it's all easy, because yes, there might be some twists and turns and unexpected situations coming up. But the more you are empowered by knowledge, the easier you're going to recognize what is going on, why it's happening, and where you're going to end up from this. See, so I'm really happy for all the good news for those Sagittarians of you that now are starting to see the light and how things are now cresting and breaking through, okay? We're through the pupae stage now, and you're finding your wings so you may fly. Now, let's just start off talking a little bit more about this grand square, just because it's still active, and I know that we spoke lengthy on this here last month. However, though, this grand square contains 4 planets angling off on each other, and it is Mars, Uranus, Pluto, and Jupiter. And this Pluto-Uranus is more of a long-term thing that has been there, but right now, see, when we have the power of Jupiter coming into Pluto, well, that's really going to burst it open and in big ways, not small ways. Jupiter never does anything small, neither does Pluto, okay? And Mars will give it the feist, the energy it needs for the shell to crack and release the energy. That's Uranus. Think about fission, tectonic plates, and it can build up for a long time, and then something slips. This is why it happens quickly, out of the blue, when you expect it the least. Now, Pluto is not earthquake bound, it is more volcanic bound. So everything that's been held down or controlled or suppressed, okay, you want to make sure that you release this little by little in a conscious way, just so that doesn't erupt and then in a big way, okay? That's Pluto. So the whole planet Earth, Mother Earth, is also trying to birth herself, and everybody upon the planet, meaning both you and I and everyone included. So we're in this together. It is a collective consciousness that's taking place. We're shifting out of the old paradigm. We're heading into a new paradigm, new dimensions coming, and that's the part of celebration that we're excited about, and I am excited for you. So let's see which 4 areas. Let's reiterate again where that is touching upon you in your life. Your Pluto and your Jupiter is in the 2nd house for income, your own income streams, and the 8th house for money from others, or that you have in joint ventures, or with your significant other. But it could be banking and investment institutions as well. So here there's something now that's just about to give slip. You will start seeing how your income is going to be transforming, taking on a new dynamic, which is really great. I mean, how can we not celebrate that? And especially because it's been difficult for so many of you Sagittarians, where you've been laboring not just for a little bit, we're talking years, okay? Pluto moves so slowly here, but now we have the force of Jupiter to unleash this, okay? And yes, it could be a little painful, you know, right before it bursts, but it's so worth it though, because Jupiter here, it's 12 years to next time it comes around. Okay, so we gotta bless the gift that Jupiter is going to give here, to give it, to be the midwife, okay, through the uterus of the universe, to actually deliver now something that not only is peanuts, we're talking good money that's coming for those of you Sagittarius that have been working really hard, really focused to get ahead. The other opposition, which is the other 2 points in the square, is Mars and Uranus. Now, Mars is in your 11th house, Uranus in the 5th house. So what does that mean? Well, Mars says to Uranus, I want to move ahead. And Mars is your drive, it is your oomph, it is your onboard propeller, so to speak. And Uranus wants to shake you out of the old routines. And the area where Uranus is your creativity, projects, those things that you love to do, and children, of course, as well, and also love and relationships. So you got a lot of things going on there that Uranus wants to renew for you, but first it's rebelling. And you might have felt a lot of that rebellious energy here as of late, these last few months, you know, let's go back 6 months, where it's like this antsiness wanting to get up and go and out. Well, now Mars is there, and it's going to trigger it as well. So how can that be bad? That's just a good thing, because once Mars is done with Uranus's position, well, then you're already out to play in the area of creativity, in the area of projects, creative projects, in the area of children, love and romance, all those things that you love to do when you have leisure time. Okay, so we're not talking about work when we talk projects here. This is a labor of love, so we're not talking career, even though many of you Sagittarians will come to see that in the coming years now, that you will be unleashing that creative energy that you have, and probably can come to make a good living at it. Okay, so mark my words, and look over what talents, skills, hobbies that you have that can turn into money and funds and sources of income streams here to your 2nd house. So listen to Mars. Mars is giving you this apprehension and antsiness, and yes, it feels a little insecure when we don't know exactly where it's coming from, but at least you are in knowledge here to know exactly where the shoe is pinching, so that you can do something about it and become more empowered. Then let's look at the Sun and Mercury this month, okay? It's cruising through your 6th house. So this month of May will be more about looking at, last month was, yes, there was a lot of creative stuff, and you took a little time off, and I'm happy to see that. Maybe something has freed up so you were able to enjoy a little bit better. But now it's like back to work, not necessarily career again, but back to work in finding the perfect foundation of streamlining your day-to-day routine so that you can become even more efficient, because you're going to need it this time. And Mercury is going to communicate a whole lot now with co-workers, okay, or other employees, and trying to figure out the secure way to lay down should I say, a foundation whereupon all of you can work more in harmony. Okay, it's in the sign of Taurus that wants to secure. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus wants harmony, and you're streamlining a harmonious path now. And make the most out of this month for doing exactly that, Sagittarius, because it's going to be a whole year before you're going to get this chance to perfect this area. Then we have the new moon. This month, it's going to be late in the month. It's on the 28th in the 7th house of partnerships and relationships, committed relationships. So you'll come to see that this can really trigger you, start you off, if you were single, in a new relationship that can come to, or become a very significant type of relationship. I can't talk today. But yes, that can have a very strong and deep impact on you. And it's also somebody that you intellectually can become very compatible with, which is important to you Sagittarians, to have an intelligent, educated partner. This is what gives you stimuli. If there's somebody who's just a little on the heavy side and not too active, do not care too much about life, well, you lose interest very quickly. Because your energy is all about stimulating the mind, the higher mind as well. So that could be interesting. For those of you who are in a relationship, Well, this new moon will trigger the energies that can just deepen it even more so between the two of you. So that is beautiful. Then we have the full moon, which is May 14th, and for you it's going to be in the 12th house this month. And the 12th house is the area where you want to reflect, where you want to pull within and not necessarily meditate, which is a very good place to do so, because the 12th house is about spirit and meditation, trying to get in touch with those higher realms. But it's a little bit serious too, because the full moon is going to illuminate as it passes over Saturn. And Saturn right now is asking you to look at your karmic path in a serious way, perhaps also in a very genuine, transformative way, because you're actually concluding a 28-year cycle here. So it's more like you are looking to the past as much as you are looking towards the future. But this full moon can bring to you what you have karmically worked on for these 28 years. This is why it's big. It's huge. Pay attention to the 14th, especially because we've got some other transits going on there too, coming in there on the 15th. So that whole week is going to, what should I say, start us off. It's going to kickstart from, say, the 10th, 11th, throughout that whole week where the full moon is on top of these other aspects that we're going to talk about. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. So let's just take a look at Venus. Venus in the 4th house here in April has allowed you to think a little bit more about the past, your roots. Family might have been very heartfelt on some level. Some of you might have been out and about looking at real estate or items to upgrade your home, to beautify perhaps. And you'll have that with you the first couple of days of May. But then it's going to be moving into a very happy area of your chart. And we're leaving the past and we're focusing on joyful, creative projects for you. Your hobbies are going to really come to the forefront. Some of you might be finding new love, where Venus loves to be in this area. If you are in a committed relationship, well then May will be an awesome, awesome time for you. So let's look at top of the month. May 3rd, we got Mercury in talks with Saturn, and Mercury is communication. It's also the ruler of any documents that needs to be signed, any commitments that we verbally commit to, and then Saturn being the serious side, both of yourself, but also whoever it is you're in dialogue with. Well, they're holding some figure of responsibility here, where you might just want to look at this before you commit, just because it's in opposition to one another. So you might not totally see eye to eye, or maybe Saturn, which could be, you know, a higher up in some institution, might say, well, we need this and that from you before we can sign this or that. So that's how it could play out for you. But then we have also on the same day, Venus moving out of Pisces and into this very creative, fun-loving space. So that's joyful. On the 4th, we have the Sun and Pluto trining one another. And this gives you power. It gives you energy. The Sun is you, and it's in this area of the 6th house. Pluto coming from your 2nd house. So I'm seeing how something with your financial situation might tie into maybe colleagues or employees, or those people that you engage with in your daily routine. You might just feel how this date here somehow is going to put a golden star on it. Then we have also accompanying that just 2 days later, so the influence of the Sun with Pluto is still in effect, and now the Sun is also expanding here with Jupiter. Jupiter, which is generous. Jupiter is the giver of love and abundance. And this is coming to you from your 8th house to the 6th house. So again, it's with your colleagues, your peers, employees perhaps, is coming something of a financial nature or financial message. Also a golden star, I would say. So good for you. This is going to kick you into the 7th when Mercury now moving into Gemini, which is going to be there for the whole coming month, and allowing you to communicate very directly, point specifically, and it's also putting you in a place of listening as well, as this communication for you is going to be in the area of that tight one-on-one, okay, communication, either with your spouse or anybody you work with tightly in a partnership, laying down new ideas, maybe new rules. But in this case, you could be very lucky to have it here in this area. On the 11th, though, there might be a little, I won't say necessarily confusion, but it could be. And it is because it apparently looks like there might be a miscommunication. Mercury is being a little clouded here by Neptune. So either something's being presented wrongly or it's being perceived wrongly. For you, this is going to be in the area between your roots, your past, or real estate, home-related matters, and how things are now being shared. So I wouldn't sign a contract, perhaps on a new house, for example, on this day, just because somebody's saying something and then they're not going to follow through. I would wait just another week if you can, just because it's affecting this area. But then we have Mercury clearing it up on the 12th. So if you're feeling something is not clear, I would say address it right away. Mercury will help you here with the power of Mars too, to actually, what should I say, lift the bar a little bit, put it back into balance. Sometimes we don't really confront it, we let it slide, and then it ends up festering. You don't want to do that because we have festering energy coming to the surface here on the 14th. So it's better to address it on the 12th. If you don't, if you're not smart enough to do it, and if you don't, well, up it's going to come like a big sour gulp there on the 14th. However, then on the 15th, the day after, you can kiss and make up again. So you can see how things are like this here for a few days. Okay, it really choppy waves, but you can do it if you are aware. And as long as you follow that intuition of truth. If it doesn't sound right, it is probably because it isn't. Then address it. Do not be afraid to communicate it, okay? Then we have a big surprise on the 15th, you know, just after we had this confrontation between Venus and Pluto square. You know, it's all about getting on that same page, trying to kiss and make up on the 15th. Well, Uranus is going to bring a big surprise here on the 15th, and then be tested, you know, or validated or verified on the 18th. So we're seeing that there is everything to do with values, could have a lot to do with money, or also those things that we hold very tightly as values close to the heart as well. On the 20th, Sagittarius, the sun is moving into your opposite sign, into the sign of Gemini. This is illuminating your house or your sign as well, even though it's in opposition. So it's now all a balance between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is great to have. Knowledge is, you know, without it, we're not really smart, are we? But knowledge with no wisdom is not smart either, because that can fall flat on its face. We can use knowledge in a good way, or we can use it very destructively. So it is up to you to balance up the knowledge that comes to you this month. Bring that Jupiterian wisdom that only you Sagittarius have as a birthright. Bring that up, and with wisdom, there's a lot that can be accomplished here from the 20th and onwards throughout this whole month of May. On the 24th, Jupiter, your ruler, is in a beautiful alignment here with Saturn. And Saturn's going to anchor something for you. And what is it wanting to anchor? It wants to anchor this vision that you have held and worked for so long. And you'll see how it's going to come together and how you're going to be praised for it. Because I see all the higher-ups really cheering you on. You have all reason to be proud of yourself when you reach this date this month. Followed by that, then great time to sign contracts, new contracts. Venus and Mercury are having great talks. You're feeling extremely creative, and as long as you're not, you know, moving too quickly, And I don't think it is, because the vision is, you know, you've been holding it for so long, so that's not going to be the problem. It's just that, you know, all of April and then May have been taking a little toll on you, so I would just like to see that you can recharge your batteries before you thrust yourself out in new challenges. But if you're ready, hey, go for it, because Venus is really going to bring you to a place where there's going to be a lot of labor of love, not work as in work, you know, that drains you. It's going to be a busy month coming up here, June, and I see that you're going to be very encouraged by nurturing it. And I think you're pretty much like the racehorse. You're right there at the gates. You can't wait to kind of push ahead, right? So I think you should just run with it just because you can, all right? And then I know that that will power up your physical energy. And the sun on the last day here this month also is proving that to be true, as the sun is in a beautiful alignment, a trine to your Mars. So I think your energy is going to be good, and it's going to be high in spite of the challenges here in April and May. So I'm really excited because June, now you're starting to roll, now you're starting to move. And we're going to talk more about that next month. So make sure to subscribe so you get it early, and do listen to your moon and your rising sign. And I'll see you next month. Bye now.